Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer. This week on the show, I'm joined by Quinns from Shut Up and Sit Down and Quinns Quest for a game of First Dig Two Graves. First Dig Two Graves is a rules-light two-player role-playing game about old grudges, sudden vengeance, and ruinous cost. In short, you play two people who fucking hate each other. Over the course of the game, you tell the story of how you came to be bitter rivals, the tools and weapons that you bring to your final confrontation, and the ultimate bloody showdown that happens between the both of you. I really love this game. It adds so many neat competitive tactical elements to this sort of story of bitter hatred that makes this wonderful thematic mechanics meets setting experience. It's absolutely something to behold. I had so much fun playing this game. I think you're going to love listening to it. You can learn more about First Dig Two Graves by going to acoupleofdrakes.itch.io or check the show notes for more information. Now, of course, you know Quinns from Shut Up and Sit Down, it's not even fair to really call it a channel or a show, the institution that has been analyzing, critiquing, celebrating board games since 2011. You also know him from his YouTube channel, Quinns Quest, which launched a few months ago, with really in-depth, beautifully developed video essay reviews of role-playing games. Now, to be perfectly blunt, I truly don't think it is necessarily impossible to overstate Quinns' contributions towards board game critique and criticism and analysis and the understanding of the art forms that we exist in. I was so beyond thrilled when I saw the announcement of Quinns Quest. And truly, I have not been disappointed. The reviews have been, deep and thoughtful and celebratory and really funny. I could gush here for an hour, but I'd rather just throw it back to the game, especially because I also gush during the recording. So all I will say is you will find links to Quinns Quest, Shut Up and Sit Down, the brand new Citizen Sleeper 2 actual play that just dropped on the Quinns Quest channel that I think you'll really love. You can find links to all of those things in the show notes. And with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. Excited is not the word that I would use. I'm sitting down with Quinns. Quinns, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Hello, Jeff. Very excited to play a game and maybe kill you.
What a strong note to lead off the episode with. Same, right? I will treasure your death in my hands, but great energy to kick off a recording with. I am genuinely so excited for the game that we are going to play today. But before we get into that, why don't you take a moment and let our lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on you might want them to know about?
Ooh, well, I have just launched a new YouTube channel. I've been a game reviewer for about 20 years, started in video games, then moved to board games when I realized I like people, and now I'm reviewing TTRPGs on the new channel Quinns Quest as I realized I like people maybe even more than board games can provide. So yeah, if people would like to see me turn my hand to reviewing RPGs with a whole load of experience reviewing other things, they can check out Quinns Quest on YouTube. But today, they can simply listen to your podcast.
I watched the first episode of Quinns Quest on the Wild Sea, and genuinely mind-blowingly good.
Wow,
is the word that I would use. The care towards not only showing off what made the game special, but using that as a jumping off point to just go into these are the things that make role-playing games special as a hobby, as an art form. When I tell you I was sitting in my living room watching it while I was doing day job work and pumping a fist in the air, I am not exaggerating.
Even the bit where I expressed that vibes are maybe more important than rules.
What do you think I was pumping my fist at, Quinns? What do you think was the moment where I was like, this is it. This is what I have been waiting for.
That's great.
Revitalized me is the word that I would use. And it got me so excited for the game that we are about to play today. Because I was like, this is so good, and I'm enjoying this so much that I think I have to murder Quinns with my own two hands.
You'll have to roll a d4 first.
I'm gonna have to roll up to 7d4.
Yes, a wild amount of d4s.
We are playing First Dig Two Graves, a storytelling game of deadly rivalry for two. You have borne it as long as you can. Everywhere you turn, they have haunted your footsteps. For every pace forward, they have been the stone in your shoe. For every triumph, they have stolen the savor. You can bear it no more. You'll have your vengeance. But first, dig 2 graves. What a good intro for a game. Truly, like, when we talk about vibes being the thing, a good, strong, 1-paragraph intro that just gets me hype, that's the magic. That's the sauce.
It's difficult to come up with a more exciting pitch for a 2-player game. Either you have to be people who want to kiss, or you have to be people who want to kill each other, or both. And
or both.
Or both. I mean, not telling you exactly where my mind's at, but if today's episode goes in that direction, that's just fine with me.
That sounds great to me. This is a 2-player game in which we are old grudges. We are people who have had a long rivalry finally facing off on the field of our final confrontation. And we are going to play out that confrontation alongside flashbacks to all of the little moments where we came to despise one another. What are you excited about going into today's game? What's the vibe that you're really feeling?
Oh, goodness gracious. You know, something that I was doing an interview with Rascal News. I was doing an interview with Rascal, the new TTRPG news site. And one of the things I found myself saying that I didn't know I believed is that I sure would like RPGs to escape fantasy and sci-fi just a little bit. So the fact that we're creating our own playset for First Dig 2 Graves makes me feel maybe I'm excited to do something a bit contemporary.
I am feeling the same thing. I feel like it's very, and the thing that I love about this style of game when it's 2 people going head to head is the very broad definition of what it means to like have that showdown. Like, death is on the table in this game, but like where we are, when we are, the nature of the conflict that we're having, all of these things speak so heavily to me about like, what can we do in that framework that really like gets my motor going?
It's just all of humanity, isn't it? I feel like it could be absolutely anything. What about you, Jeff? Did you have a place that your head goes to immediately?
So for like the thing that I always float to, and I'm almost tempted to push against this, is when I read this game, I read the text, I read the vibe, I think about what's the lowest stakes that you can exist in this environment.
Okay, that's interesting. Keep talking.
I always, like, there's something very compelling to me where my brain always goes when I think about this style of story is always, like, neighbors that fucking hate each other. Like, something very, like, public access television. And I'm not sure that that's where I want to go today, but, like, there is something universal and universally entertaining about hating someone, about being a hater, I guess is how I would describe it. Like they're like allowing ourselves to joyfully be haters for a moment is something that I'm really looking forward to.
Okay, no, let's build on this because obviously when you think about rivalries, you know, the default playset that comes with First Dig 2 Graves involves 2 wizards who hate each other. But I'm thinking about like 2 people who run 2 competing Arby's, you know, like I'm thinking, you're nodding.
I do love that. That's where my brain immediately goes is like, I think about, it's a movie that I saw in high school that like really imprinted on me. And I haven't seen it since then. I don't know if it's a good movie, but there is the 1980s Kurt Russell film Used Cars about 2 used car dealerships on opposite sides of a highway.
Oh,
and
wow.
Like, that's the energy.
That is, because, okay, like I almost don't want to, I like that so much, I almost don't want to tell you what I had in my head.
I need to hear I need to hear it. I truly need to hear it.
So my ex-wife really was touched by a scene in, you know, what's that movie called? Is it Birdman or Harvey Birdman?
Birdman, the willing, there's a long post colon, but I don't remember the subtitle.
Okay, great. Well, in Birdman, there is a famous critic character who, before seeing the play, meets your protagonist in a bar. The movie's about a protagonist who's putting on a theatrical production. He used to be a Hollywood movie star. Now he wants to do something of artistic value. And he meets this critic in a bar and she says, sight unseen, I'm going to destroy your play. And the reason she is painted as a villain because he's the protagonist, but the reason she wants to do it is he is muscling into a space that doesn't belong to him. And she has dedicated her life to theater. But then I was thinking about there's a movie I really like called American Movie, which is a documentary about some people in the middle of nowhere with no real experience making a movie, trying to get their film off the ground, but it is like the most zero budget. It's a phenomenal documentary. And I was thinking, like, what about small town theater critic versus the smallest theater in the smallest town? But this meaning so much to these people. However, I don't know if I like that as much as two used car salesmen on the opposite sides of a highway.
What if we met right in the... Because hearing you describe all of this, my brain goes to a specific meet in the middle moment that is so funny to me.
Okay.
Yelp reviewer.
Dude, as I was pottering around and making myself a drink as I was getting myself ready mentally for this call, I was thinking as a reviewer, like, it would be kind of funny to be a reviewer or to be someone who hates a reviewer in this. So yeah, let's go. Yelp reviewer is one half of our equation.
So yeah, like, cause that, like, Yelp reviewer and local store owner.
Yes.
Is such a funny dynamic.
I wonder if it could be like, you're buying up a lot of local businesses. And so the fact that the town has one really prominent, heavy hitting Yelp reviewer who could be like annihilating businesses one after another.
I really like that. I really enjoy that. That feels really great. Okay, we're starting to get our palette in order. We're starting to map out what we want, what our themes, feelings, vibes are, so we can start to like talk through like who our characters are. Are you more into being a particularly powerful Yelp reviewer, which is a phrase that I hope to eventually say without laughing, or like a small town business owner?
I think, oh wow, I don't feel hyper comfortable with either role, but that's fine. I think probably though I have to be the reviewer. Unless you feel, because I could go either way.
That feels great. Because I have been feeling, the more I talk through it, the more I do feel a joy in being, in being a shitty restaurateur is like a very exciting premise to me.
Okay, great. That's terrific. Done.
I own a small. It is. I want to pitch out that it's like a small time pizza place. Like, that's a good energy. It's not a.
I wonder if it. You could be because you know what kills most restaurants is expansion, or like not most, but so I'm thinking maybe you could have a few of your branded pizza place, which means because that sucks for me to be annihilating them one after another.
That's really funny. Going on the offensive against a series of pizza chains is so.
This is
funny.
all I've got. This is all I've got in my life. I live
so
for that.
Funny to me.
Okay, great. And then I imagine myself as somebody you said it earlier on this call, someone who's just a hater. Like, my life has gone. Do I post positive Yelp reviews? I mean, someday maybe, but no one has seen any evidence of that. I think we will get into the grim part of my character later as to why I am this way. But I think that, yeah, I go around, I get really irritated. Whenever I get irritated by anything, or even brush up against the vaguest feeling that I haven't got my money's worth, I'm like, I will destroy this. That's a 1-star review coming down the pipe for you, like a depth charge.
I love this so much.
I think I hate this, but in a good way.
I think that's the energy that we're really leading into. It's like this is an act of catharsis, is what this has become, I think.
Okay, great. To clarify, also, if people haven't heard of my work, I very rarely do negative reviews. Like, I'm a lover. This is not me. We just need to draw that line before we proceed.
I think that's a very good line to draw, because this is embodying this is in a mirror darkly is what this is.
Yes, yeah, for sure, yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got an idea of our characters, we're going to start mapping things out by choosing our 3 features. These are the weapons that we are going to bring to the duel. We have our trait, which is a short description of our character, something we're known for. A trump, which is something we bring to bear when the tide is against us. And a tie, which is a connection you can leverage when you cannot accomplish your goal alone. I have written down my trait, and I'm going to think about.
Yeah, and do we have to come up with a mirror for all of these things now?
Yes, we come up with our features and our mirrors now. We keep them or I think that we keep our mirrors secret. We reveal them when they are exposed, but we'll reveal our features up front.
Okay, great. And remind me, the weakness, there's like a failing you have as a character. And then the tie is like an enemy.
Yeah, you have your mirrors, which are the things that you can find out about your opponent that you can take advantage also to try and destroy them, are their secret, which is something about their character's nature or history that your rival can use against you. A shadow, which is a weakness, drawback, cost, a fatal flaw, which they might use to wreak ruin upon you. And a scourge, which is an enemy, a fractured relationship, or an emotional Achilles heel that can afford your rival an opportunity. These each correspond to one of your 3 traits, or one of your 3 features. And as you get new features during play, you also will pick up new mirrors to reflect sort of the way that your character has evolved.
Okay, I am good to go. It cracks me up that in the book it describes, Trump, maybe you want something like a flaming sword, and that is not where I am right now.
Not even close to where I went. I'm so excited. All right. I will introduce my character. First, I guess I should give myself a name. All right. My name is Petey Pepper Raninsky. Pepper is his pronouns, and Petey's trait is that he's the pizza prince of, I've named our small town Pleasant Pier.
Wow.
That has good kind of like small town energy to it. A little bit of a shore town, a little bit of like a boardwalk energy. Okay, and I am the pizza prince of our small town. My trump card is, I wrote down local fun and festivities, which is to say, like, Pepper organizes a lot of like fun things around the community and like pulls a lot of strings to make community fun day happen, or like organizes a soapbox derby. That kind of energy.
Okay, yeah. I was going to have a cutting remark about don't you think this town's good enough? But no, every town will be improved by a soapbox derby. I'm here for it.
Here's the thing. You're so right. Like, the soapbox derby's purely great. Just a joyful experience. And my tie is to made-for-TV movie actor Burke Bakersley, who is a childhood friend who has appeared in several of my commercials. And I think made it not big, but big enough to show up in commercials and have people go, "Oh, damn, Burke Bakersley's going to the Pizza Palace." Well, great.
Yeah. Burke Bakersley's let himself go, and that's the second thing people think when they see him in your commercial is that Burke? Oh, it is Burke. Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Great. And your trait?
Right, yeah. My trait is the description of my character they would be known for, and that is, I am known as the Pizza Prince of Pleasant Pier. People know me around town. Everybody knows the Pizza Prince. In fact, I'm going to write down everybody knows the Pizza Prince. That just feels like a good...
It's a great sentence to write down, regardless of whether we were playing a game or not.
I'm just glad that I got to say those words today.
Weirdly, I went for a not totally dissimilar naming convention. My critic, the scourge of Pleasant Pier's Yelp reviews, is Vic Richter.
Vic Richter.
Sort of a villain name. But is he a villain? Or maybe the hero of this piece? Let's find out. My trait is uncanny perception. If there is chewing gum on not my seat, but the seat 2 booths away from me, I will notice that, and that is going in the review.
That's great.
My trump, which can be an item or a little more abstract, is my frightening reputation.
Sure.
I think I walk into a place and, Pleasant Pier is small enough that people know me by I imagine Vic as a large man in a Hawaiian shirt. With like flip down aviators, maybe. For the summer.
Yeah.
So Vic walks into a place and people get their act together. Which is, no word of a lie, the best thing in Vic's life.
Love that.
My tie, my ally in this war that you and I are about to embark on is Antonio, owner of the actually good pizza place in Pleasant Pier, is what I've written down. Whether that's canonically true is up to you and perhaps the audience.
I'm so happy to hear every single one of these, like both for what I've written down that you know about and for what I've written down that you don't. I'm so happy to know every single one of these.
Creating mirrors for your character that your opponent does not know really makes you feel like you're going into battle with just like endless weak spots.
So many weaknesses. I'm like, I really hope that they don't come to light. This is gonna be a disaster.
I have one in particular that is like, if it comes out, like it instantly changes the genre that we're telling into something so much, I don't know, something so much sadder.
I'm so excited.
Hopefully that will remain a secret for Vic.
Oh, all right. So the final thing that we're going to do is decide where we are fighting. The final stage. Where is this showdown happening? Then we are going to roll some dice. One of us is going to set the tone of the fight by naming our fighting words, and then we will go into our flashbacks and passes. So where is this unfolding?
Now, you, me, the audience are all going to assume that PT Pepper, what was your last name?
Ranitsky. So it's Pepperonitsky.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. The people listening to this will assume that PT has had enough of Vic and you're like at my house to strangle me or something, or maybe on a pier. However, I propose to you that actually I am coming to kill you. And the question of why that is something we'll explore over flashbacks.
Yeah, I like that. I really love that. And I want to say that this is happening at the opening of the latest Pizza Palace restaurant in town.
Great. The fourth, as if we needed two, let alone, or one, let alone
and
four.
Of course, naming convention has to be Pizza Palace 4. Like, I love nothing in my life. I love nothing in my life more than store name 2.
That is so déclassé, and Vic hates those numbers more than he wouldn't hate it as much if you hadn't called the first venue Pizza Palace 1. Like, it doesn't need to be called 1. You could just call it Pizza Palace or the original.
It's called Shot. It's called Confidence. All right.
Great.
So we're gonna roll a d4, and the higher roll gets to select the fighting words.
I just rolled, and I remember why I hate d4s.
Sure. What'd you get?
1.
I got a 3. Okay, so our fighting words are... So this is my opportunity.
Would you like to explain, this mechanic to me and the audience? Because I didn't follow this when I read the book.
So what is happening here? Like, I am selecting the fighting words. We are meeting here on the field of battle, and I am basically saying, like, what is starting off the fight? Like, the first words that are said that are going to set... This is an opportunity to set kind of the tone of the battle, kind of introduce a little bit of the detail, the things that we're going to kind of play to find out. So, like, in this case, I am thinking, PD sees Vic coming. This is a ribbon-cutting ceremony, which is the funniest possible visual for Pizza Palace 4. Sees Vic coming, puts down the giant novelty scissors, and gives a slow clap. Look who finally decided to crawl out of their hole and show up for a change.
Can I add a detail?
Yes, please.
I immediately sprint towards you, run straight through the ribbon, and tackle you to the ground. That is
so... I am so happy that you have added that detail, because it does immediately color what's going to be our passes, which are during the moment thing. Like, because, like, the way that we've been describing this conflict, it's so metaphysical, for lack of a better way to put it. It's so, like, verbal, it's so sort of intellectual that, like, the fact that our fight starts off with you tackling and choking me immediately changes the vibe of what is unfolding in these other segments that I'm really excited about.
This is role playing, man, because it's like the story we are telling doesn't. It's like, I can feel the amorphous plasma of this story becoming more rigid with every sentence that we throw in.
And it's a great feeling. I love when we start to really key in on what the vibe is going to be.
Exactly.
Okay, So, because you have the lower roll and I set a little bit of the tone of like what the fight is going to look like, you set the first flashback. What this looks like is, you think of a scene that sounds interesting to you to explore, define like what the memory is, where we are, when we are, any questions that you kind of want to explore. And then we are going to play through a scene until we kind of find a natural stopping point, at which point we will roll some dice to see like how or who potentially comes out on top. At the end of every flashback, you have whoever rolls higher has the option of gaining a new feature and the accompanying mirror that comes with it. So effectively, these are opportunities to define why we hate each other and also like give us more tools to spite each other, with the caveat that we will be taking on more weaknesses that our opponent can expose.
I have an obvious choice, which I might like better than the less obvious and funky choice.
Mm-hmm.
Choice 1, it's Vic arriving at the first Pizza Palace, aviators on. Like, I get out of my, muscle car, which I won't reveal that particular mirror yet. And I stalk in, ready to see what this new restaurant in town is about. This is like however many years ago. Option 2, funky option. It's you and me as pimple-faced teens in high school.
Both very fun.
I don't know if I'm adding too much detail based on the length of the game. I wonder if we should just go to the Pizza Palace.
I almost like us not having a deep shared backstory, and for this strictly to be like a professional dispute that went way too far.
Great, sick. No, let's stick with that, Jeff. Okay, right. So the scene is, get out of my muscle car. It's a beautiful summer's day. There are tourists everywhere, but some people are enjoying the sun. Not Vic Richter, because Vic Richter, it's time for him to go to work. Asterisk. Sure. No one's paying him to do this.
Fuck.
So I will walk in, push open the glass door. How much detail do I add here?
So from here, we just kind of go back and forth until we find a natural sort of stopping point for the scene. The detail that I want to immediately throw in is, this is Desserto-Rama. This is a special event that PD has put together that is like all you can customers that come today get a free slice of dessert pizza of their choosing of the varieties available. And there's like people in dessert mascot suits, which doesn't make sense because there's only dessert pizza. Like, it's only a pizza crust with some cobbler toppings on top, but there's a stuffed ice cream cone dancing around. There is I Want Candy is playing on the stereo speakers.
You are making me hate this. You're making me, like, the bleed between me and Vic right now is almost too much. We did not discuss safety tools before we went into this game.
Fair.
Okay, I think I'm going to be really put out by the unbelievably positive vibes in here. Like, I am used to annihilating businesses with a slap of my enter key at home. But the energy in here is too good. You've really got the tourist on side. Everyone loves the Desserto-Rama deal. I sit down, table for one. I don't say please. And then, get, like, I ordered probably 2 like small pizzas to see what you've got. But I can't even focus because there's just too much fun. It's too loud. There's too much energy. And I'm just trying to focus on the like exact, like I'm lifting up a slice of pizza and seeing to what extent the cheese like strings stretch between 2 slices. I'm touching the underside of the plate to see how hot it is. I've got a checklist of 14 things I'm doing before I put anything in my mouth.
And I think just kicking up the hateability a little bit here.
Oh.
I think PD, like, we see PD walking around, shaking hands, glad-handing with people, sees what you're doing, walks over to the ice cream cone, who does an unforgivable sin for anyone in a mascot costume, takes off the thing in public, takes off the top scoop of ice cream in public, leans over. We got a critic in booth 7. Can you make sure to put on an extra show for him? taps him on the shoulder, continues to glide, and what has happened is now the ice cream cone is like walking over to you and like dancing extra like close to your table just to be extra distracting.
Wow. I wonder if. So do we need to do it? We're just doing a flashback here. It doesn't have to come to blows.
That is correct. These are just the real moments where we are coming to hate one another. So whenever we feel like the scene is over, we can kind of pass past it.
Okay. I think as the ice cream cone comes over, I'm going to use as much body language as possible to say, no, don't come near me. And as the ice cream cone sort of like maybe shoots a panic look between you and me of like, I'm not being paid enough to know what to do here.
I'm just giving the raised eyebrows of like, don't do what the fuck to do. Go do it.
Okay. I might say to the ice cream cone, I want to speak to your manager.
The vibe stops immediately. Like you can, it is as though the music shuts off, even though we still hear the very clear staticky tones of I want candy. Walks over. They say they want to talk to the manager. I tried to do the little dance. I tried to do the cone wiggle. They want to talk to the manager. And so I like adjusting my tie and my cufflinks. I'm in a very brightly colored suit is what I'm envisioning. Like a bright blue jacket, bright tan khakis. I'm walking over. I'm doing my hair just a little bit. Hello, what can I do to make your pizza experience just a little more magical today?
Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm drawing a blank here. This is awful. like Vic has never before, like usually there's some amount of ceremony, but I feel altogether overpowered by Pizza Palace 1 from the Pizza Prince of Pleasant Pier. Like I think I just hate this. And like, it's like whatever veneer of professionalism I had, you've just cracked it. And I don't know what a next move for Vic would be. What do we think?
There's a few options that pop into my head. Is it that Vic, like breaks down a little too loudly all of the things that are gonna go in the bad review? Is it that Vic like just kind of like lets loose like, hey, this fucking sucks? Like what's like there's a few options. What's the thing that pushes this too far?
I think I'm going to have had a really bad day. Like PT doesn't know this, but you come over assuming that I've got a problem, and actually what I'm going to do is flip up my the shades of my aviators, which had been down until this point. So I'm looking at you from under this like sort of car sunroof like thing. And I'm going to say, this business isn't going to work. And I'm going to follow it up with, I'm kind of a big deal around here. And I know at least 5 things a pizza joint needs to do that you are not doing right now.
Is it throw a great party for the people?
You've broken me. I'm out. Vic is going to stand up and say, do I swear on this show?
Yeah, absolutely. Fuck yeah.
I'm going to say, fucking amateur. And then I'm just going to leave. And then as I'm on my way out the door, I'm going to realize I haven't actually eaten anything yet. Turn back and like take a slice of each of the 2 pizzas, put them onto the palms of my hands, struggle to leave through the door because it pulls and I don't have a thumb free. The ice cream.
There's a stuffed pretzel, or there's a soft pretzel costume on the other side that like very uncomfortably opens the door for you.
Yep, I squeeze past, almost push past the pretzel. And storm off to my car, drive away because I don't want to even be near this place, and then like proceed to park in somewhere vaguely scenic, looking out across the pier, and have the angriest 2 slices of pizza. In fact, you know what? 1 bite from each, and then they're going out the car window onto the floor.
And I think the closing note from Petey is just looks over the ice cream. Who the fuck was that?
Great. Scene. Done.
Scene. Okay.
Which of us, quote unquote, won that scene? Because I think it was you, but I think, is it a dice roll?
Yes. So now we roll dice to see like what happens after. How this works is we are going to assemble a pool of dice. You always start with 1 4-sided dice that represents your natural ability. and any features that you would like to add to that moment to kind of like come out on top in the moments after the fight, you can add those to your roll. However, by rolling those features, you risk losing them. So what's going to happen is that then we are going to roll our results, take the highest result, and see, and one of us will potentially get to claim a new feature and its associated mirror.
Okay, I am actually going to put 2 of my features into this, not because I want to win, but because I like the idea of losing them. I think that would take the story where I want it to go.
I think I'm going to put 1 in because I think like I don't think I'm in a place where I'm the pizza prince yet. So I'm going to roll for local fun and festivities and then my natural ability.
Okay, I'm using my uncanny perception and my frightening reputation to see if I can write the review that bombs this.
That sounds great. Let's roll, and then you're going to take the highest result of all of the dice that you roll. That's not good.
It's going to be a 4 for Vic Richter.
That's a 2 for me. So that means that you let me remind myself. Are you ready? Roll these dice. Only your highest. Whoever gets the higher die describes the ultimate result of the flashback. You may recover. You may gain a new feature. Okay, so now that we've rolled, we take the highest result. Because you got a 4, you get to describe what happens. You also get to keep the feature that you rolled. Which means that you get the full success, and once you've described what happens, we can define what a new feature is, and if you want to take it or not. You don't have to, especially because it comes with taking an additional mirror, but talk to me about what happens after this meeting.
And just to check, and you can remove this if you want, but just to check, is there something about, because I rolled 3d4s there, but I did not roll as high on one of the ties I used. Does that feature then go away because I didn't get a high number on that die?
No. It only refers to your highest result. So if you don't roll well on a bunch of different dice, you lose all of the features that you. Oh,
sick. Okay, great. So as a 4, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to write a Yelp review with the strapline, it finally happened, ... Abomination comes to Pleasant Pier. I'm going to describe, it's just hateful, but for real, the tinge of like, not necessarily honesty, but the like vaguely respectable part of the review is Pleasant Pier used to be a pretty classy not classy, like class is a weird word as well and means different things, especially in my country and yours, but like Pleasant Pier was like historic. And there is something
quaint almost.
Yeah, or like, I don't know. You are providing fun, but you are also eliminating the tone of the town that was there before.
Sure.
And I'm also going to, and that's the honest part of the review. The dishonest part is I'm just really rude about the pizza in a totally unfair way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to refer to the cheese as cheap. I'm going to refer to the special pizza as, like nothing special at all. Do I need to go on? I'm making myself hate myself, so I want to stop there.
No, that feels great. I'm also realizing that I did that when you asked me about which features are lost, you do lose the features that you didn't roll as well on. I'm rereading the rules, and sometimes we get things wrong when we play games. And also, this makes it even more fun because this means that I lose one of my features immediately, which is great.
Which was the one you used?
I used local fun and festivities, my trump, and that's really, really great because that means that like you putting this review in place of like this is all flash and no substance. These like cheap dessert-o-rama like fun events go over like a lead balloon.
Oh, I hate that for both of us because I think that sounds really fun. What does a 3 mean? Because I got that on my frightening reputation die.
A 3 means that your frightening reputation works, but it is unavailable in the next flashback.
Got it.
So it's temporarily out of commission, but you still have it. So, yeah, okay. I want to propose that this brings with it the feature of the voice of Pleasant Pier.
Oh.
And this is maybe a trait. You would come up with the associated secret, but like, do you want to take the trait?
Yes.
The voice of Pleasant Pier.
Yes. And the mirror. Yes, 100%.
Then think on the mirror while I describe what happens when we now flash forward to a pass.
Oh, this
the
is
battle,
great.
The battle is raging. We have completed a flashback, and now we jump into the moment that the battle is raging on. We are going to describe how we are trying to destroy each other in the moment. How this works. We are going to roll some dice in secret. And you are going to make a number of maneuvers. This is a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors type mechanic. You are going to roll one die for every flashback, or one die after every flashback. So you roll 1d4 plus one die for any feature that no longer has a tag associated. So you will roll one die because you didn't lose any of your features. I will roll two die because I lost my trump. So I'm rolling 2d4, you're rolling 1d4. You'll look at those numbers in secret, and then you will... Or no, we're not even rolling these die. We're taking these die and then assigning them a number from 1 to 4 for 1 to 4 given actions. This is our opportunity to kind of like battle each other a little bit rock, paper, scissors to try and expose mirrors, gain new features, and fuck with one another, for lack of a better way to put it.
Great. And we're doing this now, and then based on the results of this, we narrate what's happening in the fight where I've tackled you to the ground at the ribbon cutting ceremony.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly right.
Okay.
All right. And the 4 options that we can do is you can reveal their weakness, you can draw on hidden depths, you can strike out decisively, or you can deny them victory. Each of those has mechanical things that I can talk through. I'll talk through those real quick. Revealing their weakness allows you to uncover one of my mirrors. Drawing on hidden depths allows you to gain a new feature. Striking out decisively allows you to advance your position, which we have a sort of D4 tracker to tell who is in control of the fight. Or you can deny them victory, which basically blocks other maneuvers.
I've chosen. I'm ready. 12 years as a board game journalist means I'm not actually good at games, but I can have fun with them.
Let me remind myself what the numbers, the thing that I was looking at it and then I looked to a different page. All right, I am ready. All right, what is your, you start with whoever lost the last flashback, which is me. So I will declare my first maneuver from my pre-selected moves, and allow the rival to respond with theirs. I am starting with a reveal their weakness.
I hoped you would do that. I'm not blocking it because why would I stop you from having fun? I am striking out decisively. I am physically on top of you and just punching you into the concrete.
Fucking, that's so funny. That means that I lose 2 position.
You sure let
your position shifts to +2. My position shifts to -2. What do we think that?
Oh, do you think that's... I think the track is there's only 1 dice on the track. So I think me being at +2, yeah.
Means that it's alternate side. It's alternate sides, which means that I'm at, you're at +2, I'm at -2.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Oh, we were, yes. Gotcha. Great.
And my second action is, and what happens if you do not, unopposed. Got it.
Yeah.
So my second action was denying, which means I deny.
You deny nothing because I'm not doing a second action.
Great. That was a waste of a second action. Now I know for the future. This is tactical knowledge that will help me later.
I wonder if you could have spent that second die to deny. I wonder if you can select actions, or if that's...
I think it is. I choose an action, you choose an action, and then we compare. And
Gotcha.
So there's a little bit of a disadvantage to having deny actions when you're going first. This is good to know going into this. This is helpful. We're figuring out how the fight is going to play out, which is very fun and tactical and not what I expected when we sat down to play the game. Okay, great. I try to I'm trying to expose you a little bit, I think, is what my reveal is. And you respond, I'm trying to get in a pithy one-liner, and you're just punching me in the face.
So do you think, if it's revealing one of my secrets, I'm assuming That's not happening now. That might be something you found out prior to the fight, right?
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay, so do you want to pick a feature and learn the dark side of it? Because some of my mirrors are better than others.
I would love for you to maybe hint briefly at your shadow. Don't tell me what it is because I haven't revealed it, but like hint a little bit at like something that I might know that I'm trying to drag out of you in this fight. Like I'm trying to get in your head.
Okay, the hint is that Vic is not doing these Yelp reviews for anyone other than Vic. Vic needs these Yelp reviews because they're all he's got.
Got
that
it.
Is almost revealing too much, but yeah.
That feels great.
I just said the Vic reviews. The Yelp reviews and Vic are kind of like have fused psychologically in a way that is definitely unhealthy.
Sure. Okay. Then we cut to our next flashback. And this, since you set the first flashback, I set the second. This is, I almost like, you know what works really well here that we've established accidentally? There are 4 pizza palaces and we have 3 flashbacks in a fight.
Okay. No, let's go.
This is open. This is this is peak resonance. They're not all, like, I don't think all of the flashbacks will be this, but this is the grand opening of Pizza Palace 2. This is, in spite of everything, in spite of the fact that all of my attempts to effectively, effectively like flash and dazzle the people of Pleasant Pier into loving my restaurant, all of those activities have faltered, but like I'm still in a position to open up a second location.
Somehow, to Vic's unbelievable annoyance. I imagine that you are letting people in, you've got new staff, it's a big day, stressful for everybody. What time of year is it? And where are we? Do we want to paint the scene? Because the first one I imagine is near like the boardwalk.
This one is, I love when an idea just pops into your head and you can't help but giggle before you even get the words out. This is downtown. This is like in like around like the what Pleasant Pier like amounts to downtown.
Okay.
And this is the vibe of Pizza Palace 2 is, and you ever see one of those, it's like when you see one of those Olive Gardens that like really positions itself as like the pinnacle of high-end dining.
Right.
And it's
right,
like,
gotcha.
But it's still an Olive Garden.
You've got like red and white striped awning out front that makes it look vaguely old.
It's like in a skyscraper. It's like not quite like a hotel lobby restaurant, but like it's like in a building. Like there's no like signage outside except for like a small lit sign that says Pizza Palace 2, and like you walk inside and there are tables, and this is my attempt to appeal to, a more sophisticated clientele for the Pizza Palace 2 experience.
So you've actually like kind of gone back to the drawing board a little bit. There's no mascot.
A little bit. There's no mascots. Like there's like an actual maitre d', like, but like then you sit down and you look at the menu and it's like the sardine explosion.
The menus are still laminated, even up here on the 14th floor. Okay, I imagine rain falling on the windows.
Yep.
Like, you're stressed, you're nervous, this is a big day. You've reinvented the business a little bit. You're talking to the new staff, but they all seem to know what they're doing. And you're keeping an eye out. You maybe don't even realize this, but in the back of your mind, you're just worried that Vic might show up. But you're looking 100%. Out front. You're looking out front, you don't see me. And then like a horror movie, you're like turning around to check on the tables, and I'm just there at one of the tables. Like Freddy Krueger has just appeared. Like I've fucking apparated into the building somehow.
I grab one of the wait staff and I'm like, you see in the Hawaiian shirt with the sunglasses, we should like, do we have like a club jacket? We don't have like a club jacket. We should maybe like get like a club jacket. Somebody go to the store and buy some nice jackets so that we can have club jackets.
I think as you're saying
just
this, I'm talking to the waiter. You don't know what the conversation is, but I stand up and the waiter leads me back into the kitchen. Like I have taught. Go on.
A pin drop. You could hear a pin drop. It's just mid-sentence, like mid-emote. I imagine Meaty talks with his hands in the same way that I talk with my hands. Mid-emote, just... Hello? This is sort of a closed kitchen.
So you walk into the kitchen and say that?
Uh-huh.
I am halfway putting on one of the like food safety rubber gloves to, as far as you can tell, go through the like bins that for the people at home. Jeff is taking off his glasses.
Taking off my glasses. This is painful to me.
I hate this character as well. I put on one of the rubber gloves, and like as far as you can tell, I'm about to go through the like little metal bins that contain like pizza toppings. Like, what is Vic gonna find in that? You look, don't ask. The man has a process. And then I will shoot a glance up at you. You'll say this is a closed kitchen, and I'll say I'll just be a minute.
No. We need. If you're going to be touching the food here, you really need a ServSafe certification. There is paperwork to file. There is materials that need to exist before I can feel comfortable with you touching any of the food and stuff that's going to go out to our customers. You can understand how this is a hazard. Thank you so much for your cooperation.
Wow. Vic is gonna not say anything. He's gonna turn. He's big, broad-shouldered, not necessarily tall, but not short. And I'm gonna walk over to you slowly and say, I don't think you understand. My audience aren't going to be happy about this. Frankly, they're not happy this place is opening at all, but I thought I would give you a second shot.
I think the thing that you just said is the worst possible thing to say to Petey specifically, because I think that, like, his eyebrow cocks, and, like, he gets a little grin, and then he waves his hand, he's like, proceed. Okay. You'll find only the freshest ingredients.
Okay. I will proceed to stick a gloved finger in, like, 7 different bins of, like, chopped peppers, and I'll I've got my uncanny perception. If there was anything wrong with this kitchen, I would notice it. I want to create a friction point here. I think there's nothing wrong with the kitchen, and I think something else needs to.
Let me throw this friction point. How does Vic react when everything is on the up and up? Because I think that's the friction point, right? Is like you're back here to expose something and there is nothing, I should say, immediately apparently wrong.
No, I totally agree.
The biggest hint that I can give.
We've lowered the stakes of this story so much that, like, yeah, okay, but hang on. This is maybe not for inclusion on the podcast. I want to. This is like our second act, right? Of 3. Mm-hmm. Something awful needs to, like, I don't, like, my head goes to, like, I don't think Vic is the kind of person to fake this, but what the scene we've set up implies that nothing would be wrong with the restaurant. Go and write a good review.
You know what? I know exactly what it is now that I'm hearing you say this. Nothing is wrong in the back of house. Like, the kitchen is clean. The ingredients seem fresh enough, but what has happened to maybe I think what has happened, because this maybe casts a little bit of doubt, is while you were back here, your food came out. And your food has been sitting while this entire confrontation has been happening. So when you come back to try your pizza, it is cold. But Perfect. There is the question, would it have been cold had you been seated at your goddamn table? And when the food had come out.
Okay, Vic walks out, like, sees the food, looks kind of surprised, startled even, and I'll walk back towards it and I'll sit down at the table with, like, my mouth slightly agape, like, realizing this situation that you described. The food is
I am, like,
cold.
hovering over you with my arms crossed, like, this is my moment of triumph.
I'm going to look at you. And, like, Vic isn't actually a professional, right? Like, Vic is just Vic Richter, Yelp reviewer. So, it kind of, and also Vic doesn't want to be beaten. He does hate you. He doesn't fully know why yet. But I think in this moment, I'm going to take a bite of pizza with a perplexed look on my face. I don't even know how this is going to shake out. But then I know how it's going to shake out after I take a bite, and I hear myself, some dark, grim, gremlin, hateful, spiteful little part of myself say, with a mouthful of food, it's cold. And I'm making eye contact with you as I say that.
My face drops, and I'm like, well, yeah, you were in the back for 25 minutes poking at my peppers. Of course it's going to be cold. That's not on me. That's on you. That's customer behavior.
I will look around at the members of Pleasant Pier who are now overhearing this. You, I think, because I've been such a prick, are now fully shouting, and I'm embarrassed. Yeah. I'm like, I put my hands up, and then my mouth's still slightly full, say, that's not customer service.
That's customer behavior is what that is. Everybody here's got their pizza piping hot. You can see the steam coming off it. Sure enough, you can see steam coming off of the individual pizzas.
Okay, great. I'll stand up, swallow, take a serviette and dab it at my mouth. And you've frightened me, you've rattled me, you've thrown me, and I haven't come off well in this encounter at all. And I will say, I won't be talking to like this. Not in my town.
Fucking great. I love it so much. And I think to get the last word in, as like just before you leave, Petey like gestures like, would you like your pizza boxed up for the road?
I think now you've got this just ugly side of me. I don't think I'm going to respond. I think I'm just going to walk out, not making eye contact, and do a vague wave over the back of my head. Now, when you get home that night, after I would like to imagine that PT is at his computer, just refreshing Yelp.
Oh,
just
for sure, relentlessly.
Like this guy wouldn't. He wouldn't. And then at 2:30 in the morning, the review comes up that is like another disgrace from PT and then for some reason it's in inverted commas, another disgrace from quote PT Pepper, even though that is your name. And it's just hateful but completely undeserved.
Love it. I love it. All right, let's roll some dice. I am wagering one of my features here. Everybody knows the Pizza Prince. I think this is I have my reputation and I am bringing it to bear here. So I am going to roll 2d4 and take the higher of the two results. The way the game recommends it is to use d4s of different colors to represent your different traits so that you can see how you've wagered them. I have here a D4 with dough, with a Homer Simpson dough is the one, and that will be representative of the Pizza Prince. That feels right.
Wow. I am the voice of Pleasant Pier. I have my uncanny perception, and I think that's all that's going to work. But once again, wagering two features and quietly hoping to lose them both.
Oh no. Oh God, no. I'm going to let it ride. I'm going to let this ride. This is the worst thing that could happen, but I'm going to let it ride.
I got 2 4s and a 3. So I am only temporarily unable to use my uncanny perception.
Well, I got a 4, which means that I win the flashback and I can take a new feature.
Oh, really? However, because even though I got a 4, I got 2 4s.
Oh, you got a 4 as well. You got 2 4s. Yeah. So you absolutely, no, actually, neither character gains any benefit because our high result was equal. Sorry, I completely forgot that you also rolled a 4, which means that this is a tie. We both failed to distinguish ourselves above the other, and our grudge got in the way, which I think is right.
Accurately describes the scene that just happened. Yeah.
Now, here is the problem: is that I rolled a 1 on my trait, which means that not only do I permanently lose, everybody knows the Pizza Prince. And this works so well because you used your perception here. I have to reveal to you my secret. And I'm so excited because it perfectly mirrors this scene. You are in the back kitchen. It is days, maybe even weeks of just like something chewing on the back of your mind. There is something sitting wrong. And you're like, there was something in that kitchen that I didn't notice. And then you realize you saw the briefest flash of red and black and brown in like sticking out of a trash can. Like you almost didn't spot it at first. And then you realize that you saw the edge of a logo of a container sticking out of a recycling bin. And you realize that you have, in fact, tasted this pizza sauce somewhere before.
No.
We have been buying Pizza Hut pizza sauce in bulk and putting it on our pizzas. It is no better than common Pizza Hut pizza sauce. Like, it is... this is where we are getting our special sauce that we advertise to customers.
Okay, the Yelp review, which was previously just like semi-incoherent, like 3 days later, it has this in all caps, edit, also, these clowns. Yeah, great. Use Pizza Hut pizza sauce. I knew I'd tasted it before, and then it ends, checkmate.
It's checkmate. Fuck. Okay, great. And that means that we come back to the...
You know what we forgot to do, though? At the end of the second, we didn't describe what happened in the fight, which I'm keen to do.
We got to describe what happens in the fight.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm on top of you, just punching you, just having lost my mind at the ribbon cutting of the fourth place.
I'm like barely throwing blocks.
Yeah, no, great. I am fully on top of you. You managed to, in a just ugly wrestle, get me off you. I will point out that, I mean, I don't know if you've forgotten this. You're a pro, so probably not, but the giant scissors are right there.
That's true. That's true. I did, in fact, forget that.
But I feel that we have more room in this fight if you flee inside. There's more props for us to use in a fight.
As we head into the second pass, I think that I am fleeing inside, and I am throwing, like, I'm doing the run and throw, like I'm throwing pizza boxes at you.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Just haphazardly throwing them backwards.
Yeah.
Which means
I'm batting them away. Yeah.
Now we come to our second pass, and I'm rolling 3d4. And also, neither of us won the last flashback, so whoever chose the scene for the last flashback, which is me, so I'm going to make the first move here as well.
Okay. Oh wait, we're not rolling these. We are deciding them.
Right, we decide these. Rolling dice is just fun, and I got excited. Okay. Okay, I've got mine.
I've got my 1.
I've got my 3. I am once again trying to reveal a weakness.
Oh, really? For my first one, I assumed you would deny. I'm striking out decisively again, chasing you down, like
which
batting these giant.
This pushes me all the way to a +3. This pushes you all the way to a +3 position. Me all the way to a -3.
I am just this huge bull in a china shop, charging through the tables at you, looking like, for all the world, I will strangle you to death if I catch you.
That's so fun. And then this works so well because I am running, I am weaving, I am like doing everything I can to avoid being into a fight. And the second that every time we get into a confrontation, it is clear that I am just outmatched.
Yeah, except for the fact that every time we've met in person, you've been fine and I've been a psycho. So okay, but you reveal a weakness. Would you perhaps like to know something about my uncanny perception or know about my tie?
I would. I would love to know something about your uncanny weakness.
Actually, Jeff, going into the third scene, I think you might have more to play with if you
Let's do it.
Ask for the trait. Oh, ask for the scourge.
Give me the scourge.
There is someone else in town who hates me. There is a woman who you have heard, because after the second Yelp review, you got a private message or an email from a woman who runs the laundromat, whose business I almost destroyed, and who I have been avoiding in town for 7 years. Like, it's not a big town, but if she's in a coffee shop and I walk in, I walk straight back out again.
Wow. That's so great. And Quinns, can I tell you something very, very special?
Let's go.
I chose 3 ones.
So you're revealing everything that is possibly wrong with
Vic. So you blocked or you struck the first time, so I didn't reveal something off of my first, but I do get to reveal a second shadow right now. Or a second mirror right now.
I don't know, maybe after this has happened twice and your entire livelihood is hanging in the balance, you might hire a private detective. Vic is enormously overdrawn on 3 different credit cards.
Oh, and that is your secret?
That
Or
was
your
it's the counterpart to my uncanny perception is I'm just
Oh,
sort of like,
got it. Yep.
yep.
Overdrawn. Okay. Now, like, I think. Okay, great. Yeah, I think I think it is fully that I have hired a private detective. I get this information, and like, there is a moment again hinting it at mirrors that I am like, maybe I just drop it. Maybe I just drop it. This might be what makes me drop this, and of course I don't because this is who we are.
Yeah, no, you think about dropping it, maybe you talk to your significant other about it, and they're like, you have been staying up way too. You're going to meet the private detective again? And you're like, yeah, no, it's crazy. And then you remember what I was like at the restaurant the second time, and you're like,
Okay.
no, fuck this guy. Yeah.
I'm gonna destroy him. I'm gonna burn him to the ground.
Okay, great.
Okay, great. So where is the third flashback happening?
You've tied my hands, haven't I? I think that the third, I think it's got to be the opening of Pizza Palace 3. It is, you hoped or you thought it might be far enough outside of city limits of Present Pier that I wouldn't show up. It's like on a highway, like next to a gas station, like miles and miles out of town. But perhaps this was a trap, perhaps not, because what I imagine is that you opened the third venue knowing I'll show up, and then you have set, because this is our last flashback before. This is like what. So you've set up something abominable for Vic.
What is like Vic arrives and of course Vic arrives. Vic was always going to arrive, and sure enough, I have in fact arranged something particularly devious. You arrive and there are cameras. There are film cameras. There is a set that is unfolding. The tip that you received at our opening day is also the day that we are filming a commercial for Pizza Palace 3. And you arrive. There is like a small handful of people crowding around. Is that Burke Bakersley? Oh man. That's it's cool that he's here.
And like Burt Bakersley dice, getting that in this scene.
Like I've arranged a commercial to be filming, and like you are looking around, and there is specifically, I am seated on a table. I'm sitting on the table. I got one leg on the chair. I'm doing that pose.
I imagine that Vic's first impulse is to sling his muscle car in reverse and leave as soon as he sees the film cameras. But too many locals immediately spot him and walk up. There's like the people from his bowling league. There's the people from his like, sports. I don't watch sports, from his like sports fantasy football league. I don't know. And immediately they're like, Vic. And it's like, oh, you coming to check this place out? Well, let's hope they've made it better because we remember your reviews of the first two. Sure, PD does as well. And so I can't leave. And I have to I grudgingly enter the venue, maybe with a few backslaps from people of like, yeah, go on, Vic, do your thing. This is what Vic does. He's great. He's famous.
As you approach, you see that the camera is on me, and with dawning horror, you realize that the person that I am speaking to is the owner of the local laundromat, giving a totally authentic customer testimonial about like the quality of the pizza at Pizza Palace 3.
This is the worst day of Vic's life. I look like a rabbit in headlights. All of my paper-thin confidence is goes up like flash paper. I will sit down at a table and immediately be sheened in sweat. There's no like jacket or anything for me to take off. Wearing the same Hawaiian shirt, just sweating. The waiter comes and I like fumble over the menu and go, just a margarita and whatever you want. Not making eye contact. I think at this point, the tiny child that Vic truly is, who never really grew up and whose ego inflated to keep his psyche alive, is completely revealed. I am a rat in a trap. And I don't think that this is going to cause PT to go easy on him.
No. I think, in fact, the camera crew moves inside. Like, there's a moment where, again, like, making, because the thing is that PD is also the goddamn worst. PD sees you go inside, sees it, wolf eyes, like watches the gazelle walk across the prairie, takes the camera crew on a guided tour, makes sure to gesture towards you and say, like, everybody's here, from business owners to local celebrities and to the critics of all kinds. Everybody's here to enjoy Pizza Palace 3. And in almost slow motion, gives you the worst grin that you have ever seen. Spins on his heels and continues to give this tour of his shitty restaurant.
I think just before the camera leaves, something that is caught on mic that doesn't make any sense, and so the camera moves on, is some lizard part of Vic's brain activates, and he says, as a non sequitur for food poisoning, like that's going to be an excuse for him to leave. No one understands what he's saying. He hasn't eaten anything yet. And then he looks bashful and looks down at the table, and the camera moves on. Not long after that, the pizza arrives. It is steaming. It is fresh. The ingredients and the sauce is good. Jeff is getting ready to roll the dice and annihilate me.
The ingredients are good. The sauce is still Pizza Hut.
I imagined that you would have changed the sauce to...
Oh, you think too highly.
Okay, great.
All right. I'm going to roll two dice here and add in Burke Bakersley.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, no.
Did you botch it again?
I botched it again.
Well,
it works. It works, but I lose the feature. My high roll is 3, but I do lose Burke. I think there's a moment where Burke, like, obviously it works. Like, regardless of who wins the flashback, this works. But there is a moment where Burke is like, hey, man, this is a weird fucking favor to call in.
I was about to say, like, the vibe in here is off. Do you hate this guy? Like,
I walk up to Burke and I'm like, we fucking got him. We got him. We ruined him. And Burke is like, man, I did not ask to be involved in this.
Yeah, Burke's like, yeah, I really wish I was spending today with my daughter. Can you explain what's going on? I rolled a 1 and a 3. The 3s was on Voice of Pleasant Pier. So does that mean neither of us get a trait again if you're host?
That means neither of us gets a trait. It's just like the commercial sucks. Like you can feel the vibe on the commercial.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I think completely undermines PD's victory and accidentally really plays into Vic's favor is that Vic just saying food poisoning unprompted. The only explanation for that is that somebody got food poisoning at this restaurant.
I imagine that when they're cutting the commercial, because you keep telling the cameraman to get footage of me, they try to cut around me, but there's a really large number of shots where I'm in the beginning or end looking sweaty and really sad. And like maybe it becomes a meme on the internet. Like, this commercial's weird. Why did they include so much of this dude?
It's just such a bad commercial.
It's just awful. But the thing you get that I want to flag is that with the cameras around and everybody watching, I bite the pizza, and as much to make the day end as anything else, I go, yeah, it's good. It's good. And then leave. And then, give you like I don't know. No, I think I don't review that one.
Love that. I really like that.
I just don't review it. So we need to paint what takes us from there to Vic charging at you to just absolutely kill you. I wonder. I mean, do you want to? Maybe the credit. Maybe the debt catches up to me. Maybe my car gets repossessed. Maybe I just carry the idea that you have sabotaged my quote unquote career. Or like, I don't know, like just this. Oh no, you know what? No, wait, we've already got it. I think what happens then is that the memes of Vic being this awkward, sweaty guy shatter the very thin ice of his reputation.
Sure.
Like before,
and I think that,
you go on.
Oh, I think that the representation of that is that your next review of another restaurant gets hit with did not find this review helpful.
Oh, or like, wait, or just people like, then I go viral for like people being like, look at all of this. That weird dude in the commercial has a load of helpful Yelp reviews. And then, my account gets tagged as like biased or unhelpful or whatever.
I love that so much. And that's when things explode. We cut back to the restaurant. We are now in the kitchen. Like, when the fight has gone all the way through. Is it to the kitchen or the main dining area? Which is more dramatic?
I imagine it's like an open plan kitchen. So like I can be chasing you through the tables, but then immediately, we can also then be into the kitchen where there are like knives and oven,
that feels great.
Cookware. Okay, God. So is this now just we do one dice roll to determine the kind of epilogue?
We do one final pass and then we roll die for the epilogue.
Okay, God.
So
So now is it? So I have a trait with no tag, which is unusable. So I get 2 dice?
Yes, you get 2 dice. I get 4 dice because I've lost every one of my traits.
Wow.
Okay, I've got my
God,
options.
I rolled them like an idiot again. Okay.
It's just fun to roll the dice. Is the dilemma.
I have talked at length about how much I hate rolling d4s. They just flop out of your hand, and
they don't roll in a satisfying way. Is the problem? Okay, I've got my choices, and I've got my first action ready. I'm really
showing my colors as a board game journalist here with what I've chosen.
Give us the you go first here because we tied and you chose the scene.
My first die will be defend or deny. Whatever you want to do, I'm going to stop it from happening. Yeah, look at that. Look at Jeff Sag.
I struck with precision.
Of course you did. Let's move on. You're trying to disrupt my advantageous position? No, You're going in the pizza oven.
Okay, then I am going to, what is the phrasing on this action? I am drawing on hidden depths. I'm attempting to gain a new feature.
No, you're not, because I'm defending or denying again.
My God, this is so upsetting.
You do get your third dice, though. Did you have 3 or 4?
I got 4.
Oh, jeez.
Which means I am going to expose your third mirror.
Oh yeah, my the mirror that you haven't seen yet is that I got the trait Voice of Pleasant Peer, but if you go back far enough on my social media, before I was known as a paragon of this town because that was advantageous to my brand, I just complained about it all the time, and all of those tweets and Facebook posts will come to light that actually I'm not even the Voice of Pleasant Peer because I'm a hater.
And I also get to add a new feature of my choice. And I am going to
we could make this related to the fight because right now, because in gameplay terms, the traits and mirrors are supposed to be like, I'm a cowboy with a big gun, but I've got an enemy, and then it makes sense for who wins the fight. Like right now, you and I just have a load of really sad character traits that are somehow going to determine if one of us lives or dies.
I have a pizza like a pizza.
There we go.
The pizza paddle. That's what it is. I've got the paddle. I have grabbed it and I am swinging it in my hands like a staff. I am trying to like fight you at bay with this big fucking flat iron staff.
Okay, great.
That's very good to me.
I'm just chasing you through the store going, you made me a joke! I'm not a joke! And yelling, I'm not a joke, and fending off as you like fend me off with a paddle like a clown sequence.
It's very funny.
Can I add, everybody outside that was here for the ribbon cutting is now filming this on their phone, waiting for the cops.
It's gonna go so viral. It's gonna go. It's live streaming. Like people are TikTok living it. Like it's a disaster. As we come to our final roll, here's how this works. We take one. We roll a number of die, and then we determine who is going to win.
Yes, so I get 1, 2, 3 extra die because of my position on the advantage chart.
Correct. I get 3 die because I know your 3 mirrors.
Oh, you actually discovered 4.
Then I get 4 extra die, so I get 5 die plus. I have 5 die plus 1 trait.
Okay, I discovered one of your weaknesses, and I have 3 traits that are usable.
So that's 3 trait, 2 mirrors, plus 3. That is 8. You are rolling 8 die.
I quite literally don't own this many d4s. Do you get a base dice as well?
Yes, you also get a base dice.
Did you add that into the calculation?
You have 3 traits, 2 mirrors.
What?
No, roll not. You're rolling 9.
Okay, great. Here we go.
I am rolling 3. And then we roll, and we just
You're
take
rolling
the...
3?
I'm rolling 3. This is not
Wait. You have 2 traits?
I have one... I have a 1 base die.
Oh, but -3 for the track.
1 trait, 4 mirrors, which puts me up to 6, and then -3 on the tracker, which brings me down to 3 dice. Okay, I've got my numbers. Now we arrange the dice we rolled from highest to lowest.
Got it.
We then remove any so I've rolled a 3, a 2, and a 1. We remove any equal dice.
Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, your 3, 2, and 1 are gone.
Great.
And then I've got 2 4s and a 3.
Oh.
I actually have more than that, but that's the key thing. So, will you do me the honor of reading what happens if I have a 4?
Their story ends here, and in the fullness of time, they will be forgotten.
Wow. I think. Wow, because we could be in any genre of movie right now. But I am English, and I do have to give this story the somewhat bleak Coen Brothers ending.
This is the most Coen Brothers story imaginable. This needs the bleak Coen Brothers ending.
Okay, I mean, I think, like, maybe the camera lingers on the giant comedy scissors outside, the pizza oven, the knives. Then what actually happens is, as you're trying to push the paddle towards me and paddle me away like some kind of bad Jedi, I just punch it. It goes into your head. You stumble backwards, hit your head on the side of a countertop, and fall down stone dead.
I think, yes, that is so good. I think even, that's great. That's exactly what it is. And so the other half of this is, because I got a 0, I have destroyed, spoiled, or ruined something you hold dear.
Oh, I mean, my reputation, my Yelp account, but realistically, my entire reputation. This battle with you has made me a joke. The one thing I had, which was this, like, what's the word? Like macrame? Is that the incredibly thin?
Yes, yeah, macrame, yeah.
I had this macrame thin reputation with the town, online, concept of myself, and they are all destroyed.
That's really fantastic.
And you're dead, but in a very real sense, so am I. I have nothing. What you destroyed was the last shreds of anything holding up my ego, my sense of self.
And I think the last thing that we see is, the last thing that we see is, like, you are, like, everybody is guided out, like, it is, taped off. And we flash back to Pizza Palace 1, and there is a going out of business sign on it.
Yeah.
My final, the two things that I hadn't revealed to you are, the reason that I almost called out the feud is that my shadow is that my finances are in absolute shambles. And every other pizza shop in town hates me. Which is why I laughed so much when you revealed that one of the other pizza shop owners, like, was giving you intel. Because I was like, yeah, they all hate my gun.
But hang on, Jeff, did you just make this, like, did you just put the button on the end of this movie? Because that means that what Vic Richter actually did was, for real, save the town of Pleasant Pier from a scourge of chain pizza shops that would have actually, ruined the pleasant, like, historic, classy facade of this town.
Which I think is phenomenal. Like, I love that there is this sense that, like, there's this sense of this battle for kind of the heart of this community. And, like, it's a you won at what cost? Like this very literally did stop this looming menace, but at what cost?
Vic Richter didn't even, like, Vic Richter, Yelp reviewer, was actually a good critic in the end. And he died for what he believed in. Which was, no, your pizza shops suck, and I will sacrifice myself on the altar to remove them from my town. Wow.
What a great fucking game.
We tied a little bow on that at the end. Goodness gracious me.
So happy with that. That is such a delight. Thank you so much for playing this with me. I'm over the moon.
Thank you, Jeff, for letting me be a hateful reviewer and also in the game.
Oh, good energy, good vibes. What was your favorite moment from play?
Oh, wow. I think my favorite moment, playing an RPG is fun and ending it is fun, but that moment at the beginning where the story starts to come together, it was when I was describing, not wanting to underplay all of the hilarious things that happened. Although I did really like going into your kitchen and Petey just flipping out. No, get out. It is not happening. That's great. But no, what I really liked was the sense of trust I felt at the beginning, saying, you know what I've been thinking about is this critic from Birdman, but I've also been thinking about, that on a really low scale, and you just being like, yeah, let's do exactly that. And I'm like, wait, what do you mean? And then you just painted the entire story based on my prompts. It's just really great collaborative storytelling. What was your favorite part?
Oh, I really loved, the fact that we both wrote down a bunch of secrets. We both wrote down a bunch of things. We had these sketches of these characters and we're like, these are the things that I want the other player to know about and the things that I don't want them to know about. And the fact that we had keyed in so specifically on this story of these two characters that we both wrote down virtually the same things of it really just encapsulated the fact that we both knew what the vibe was so perfectly that every single time you revealed one of your mirrors, I was like, okay, great, because that's also what I have written down
Oh,
here.
that's so funny. Then it's as we're, struggling to get dirt on each other, we just realize we're the same person.
It really, the moment when you said that it was that you were overdrawn, and I looked at my finances are in shambles, and I was like, oh, Petey is looking at a bunch of ledgers with all of the numbers in the red, and then this moment is like, oh fuck, do I suddenly feel for this Yelp reviewer? and then the moment where he says, nah, fuck him, I'm gonna ruin him, is such a Coen Brothers is the exact vibe. That is such a Coen Brothers moment of we have the realization that we are going to make the wrong decision. We have the realization that we are going to do the worst thing and suffer for it. But fuck it, I'm going to do it anyway.
And I do also just really like that framework of we start with the fight and have no idea why we're fighting.
Yeah,
and
it's very good.
Jumping back through time, that's very cute.
Oh, thank you so much for playing this with me. I'm over the moon.
This was great. This was super fun. I hope your audience have fractionally as much fun listening to our story. I think, is this how, I've listened to some episodes of Party of One, but on the bar of demented to normal, how does this episode rank?
This episode ranks pretty well. I think this is, in a lot of respects, the embodiment of the vibe. Really episodes will shift in different directions. Sometimes they go super tragic. Sometimes they get very silly. But the thing that I would describe as very emblematic of the show is exactly what you were describing of the moment when we both when we're throwing things out, we're throwing in vibes and keying into something specific, and then we just go. That is I would say the overriding vibe is energetic. It is a sense of we both key into something and then just collectively push it as far as we can for about 90 minutes.
That's great. That's so much fun. I had a blast. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So real quick before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
It's easy. If they're on YouTube and search for Quinns Quest and want to subscribe and see me talking about, I've got a couple of reviews up at the minute, Lancer and Wild Sea, but I'll be putting out one every month. Or they can follow me on Twitter. I am at Quinn, or X. I am at Quinns108.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for joining me. This is such a wonderful game. I am absolutely beaming. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take a future me. Thanks, Fast Me. And thanks again to Quinns for coming onto the show. That game was, that was truly unhinged, right? That was a magnificently chaotic experience. But there is such a distinct joy to keying into that vibe and just watching you and your scene partner push something as far as it will go. And just the fact that at every step of the way, we were like, is this where we're going? Great. Let's take it a notch further. Truly, I think we made something that was magical and special and captured my entire heart. Be sure to head to a couple of drakes.itch.io to pick up your own copy of First Dig 2 Graves, and be sure to check the show notes for links to Quinns Quest, Shut Up and Sit Down, the Citizen Sleeper 2 actual play that Quinns just released. I have genuinely recorded like 4 takes of me trying to like concisely emphasize why this stuff is important to me and like the impact that it had and like what it means to me. And I haven't been able to, so I'm just going to say go check it out. And be sure to follow Quinns on Twitter, as long as that's still a fucking thing, at Quinns108. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Party of One Podcast. Find us on TikTok at Party of One Podcast. Find us on Tumblr at Party of One Pod. Subscribe to our newsletter at buttondown.email/Party of One Podcast. And join our Discord community at bit.ly/Party of One Discord. If you enjoy the show, there's a lot of ways to support it. You can support us financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or kofi.com/JeffStormer. You can give us a nice iTunes review, shout us out to a friend, give us some love on social media. You can buy some Party of One merch at bit.ly/Party of One merch. Or, if you're looking for more great podcast content, you can check out All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast that I make with my best friend in the world, Aaron Catano-Saez. We take a listener-submitted prompt and spin it into an original fantasy character, populating a shared universe one story at a time. You can also check out Yazeba's Bed and Breakfast, which is an actual play about a heartless witch, a cozy house, and the many people making their homes inside. Both of those you can find wherever you get your podcasts. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. Music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And, unless I am mistaken, that is all we do here. So until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance. And as always, party on, everybody.